This is a quick look at a new looping feature in the Avairto automation tool. So I'm going to start by running this sequence. And this does not have the looping feature added yet, but we'll run it and then we'll add it in. So this basically asks me to choose an artist. I'll pick Van Gogh. I'm going to run this 10 times and start sequence. So basically what it does is in step 1, it generates a list of 5 animals. Step 2, it generates a list of 5 modes of transportation. Then it isolates item number 1 from each list. So it picked elephant and automobile. And then it writes an image prompt with those 2 things and draws an image in the style of the artist that we asked for. Which is great. And this would, if I run this over and over again, it'll always pick whatever the first item from each of these lists are. And the list can be different each time because an LLM is, doing the list. What I'd like it to do is loop through all 5 of these and choose the first item from the first list, first item from the second, second from the first, and the second from the second, and so on. So, it puts automobile and elephant together, and then giraffe and bicycle, and it kind of continues till it reaches the fifth one. So to do that, I'm going to edit my sequence. And looking at this workflow, so we start by generating the list of 5 animals, and then we generate the 5 modes of transportation. That's all good. Down here, we're responding with item 1 from the list. So above this, I'm going to add a new prompt. And this actually isn't a prompt, it's a function. I'm going to call it, I'm going to use defined named anchor. And I'm going to call my anchor main loop. And so this basically starts kind of a subroutine within this automated sequence. So main loop is going to continue all the way down almost to the end above end sequence. So I'm going to add another one. This time I'm going to say go to named anchor, and I'm going to have that go to main loop. So everything between 3 and 8 is going to repeat for the number of times I tell it to repeat. And of course we have 5 items in our list, so I'm going to set how many times to 5. And this will loop through this little subroutine 5 times before it goes to the next step. And the next step is an end sequence, which basically exits the automation. So now that we've done that, the only thing that we still need to do is update these 2 prompts that say respond with item number 1 from the list. Instead of item number 1, we want it to retrieve the item number of the current loop. So I'm going to get rid of that 1. I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to use anchor count. And it asks for our anchor name, which of course is main loop. So I drop that in there. So now it's respond with item number, anchor count, main loop from the list. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Replace 1 with right click, anchor count, main loop. And that should do it. So I'm going to save that. We'll run it again. I'll choose Van Gogh. I'm going to run it 10 times. So our first animal should be lion, and our first mode of transportation is automobile. Here we isolate that, and sure enough, we have lion and automobile. It writes the image prompt, and there's our lion with the automobile. Now it loops back up to main loop and starts it again. This time we're on item number 2, which is bicycle. And there's a dolphin riding a bicycle. And it continues through, we'll let it go through all 5. Now we're up to panda, item 3, airplane is the mode of transportation number 3. And there's our panda with the airplane. And because we chose Van Gogh, it kind of does the Starry Night swirl type motion in the background. Giraffe and a train. Now we're to our 5th one, penguin and boat. And now it jumps to our last step, which is a sequence stop, and we're done. So when I hit continue, it takes me to all this harvested media. And I can, download these if I want to my hard drive. I can copy the URL to clipboard, or I can delete it if I don't like the images. But they're all saved locally now in my Avairto account, and I can use them however I want. So that's just a quick look at how we can use the new anchor loop feature in Avairto.